back for another half-loaded episode of Get a Load of This. From the Silver Creek Studios, I'm Jared.
I'm Rebecca.
She beat into the
that is bullshit.
Stepping on a man's toes.
I just wanted to jack this shit up.
She is Rebecca.
That was good.
And I'm Ryan.
Yeah.
And she's back.
She
is back. And we decided
60% Fran Drescher.
Yeah. Technically, I never left.
We decided to video this episode since I fucked up the last one and did not video that one.
We all love videos.
Yeah. One of us didn't want to be on video tonight. Had to have her best
That one of us
side.
would be me.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
But also, Ryan realized he has a better side, and it's this one.
So you're
Maybe,
welcome.
yeah.
You're welcome.
I don't know. It remains to be seen. I never really watched the videos myself. I don't like watching myself.
Nope.
Whenever I do turn on the
fucking
YouTube,
fly.
all I see is an idiot going like this. All I see is my fucking hands.
I'm trying to like hold my hands down.
I have a bad, I do
feel
this
like
a
I'm
lot.
gonna knock
and then
the
Jared
microphone.
yells at me
Handsy guy.
for doing that kind of crap and for hitting the microphone and stuff like that. Well,
I've never
I
seen
didn't
somebody
even think
that
about
couldn't
that.
sit still as
I
much
tap
as
my
Ryan.
fingernails.
I haven't noticed it. Ryan's pretty loud with his.
I have a lot of
fidgetiness. He can't leave the microphone alone. He can't.
This one's better. That one moves on me. So this one I haven't really fucked with too much because it pretty much sits still.
Right.
Mine hasn't moved. I push it away. I find
probably
myself
because
pushing
you
it.
got it.
It's
You got
not
it
the
lower.
mic. It's Ryan. He fucks with it, and then it starts swinging around.
Well, also I sit back in that chair, so.
Well, yeah.
He does, yeah.
I'm leaning
Anyway.
up. I'm leaning up.
Hey, to each their own. Nobody's perfect like Jared,
Right.
who looks like a floating head tonight.
I'm down here a lot with my black shirt and my black hat.
It's just a floating head. And
He has a floating head.
Yeah.
Anywho, what were we going to talk about? We're going to drink.
know.
We're
We
going to
don't
drink
have
some
much.
white clam.
Yeah.
And
White Claw.
White clam. Sounds like a porno.
White
Yeah.
Claw hard seltzer.
This is
We
the
are.
girly drink
This is
that
the girly
Ryan
drink.
specifically
but
got.
I'm actually
kind of
looking forward to it. I am honestly looking forward
And
to
you
it.
consulted
TJ,
your son
Yeah, well,
on which flavor to get.
Unfortunately, I'm a failure as a father, and he knows more about it than I do. 2 grams of carbs. That sounds good. 100 calories, natural flavors, and then it repeats. Oh, gluten-free.
Sniff it.
Okay, hold on. Natural flavors. This is black cherry cough syrup, it smells like.
Ooh, I'm gagging a little already.
Crafted using our unique brew pure process and only the finest natural flavors, to deliver a surge of pure, refreshment and a hard seltzer like no other. White Claw hard seltzer.
All right, pull the trigger. Let's do it.
Drink.
Let's do this. She passed it over. I was gonna
Okay,
give
that's
mine to
fucking,
you.
that's garbage.
Cockapooey.
So this is
I'll
along
drink
the line.
You'll drink that?
Not yours. I'll drink mine.
It's
Like you like it that
it's
much?
not cheap either. I got how many are in a fucking thing? I think there's 4. Maybe there's 6. No, there's 6 because they're little skinny.
Okay, so
This
here's
is the
thing.
Capri cigarette of fucking alcoholic
Right,
beverage
right.
containers.
The vagina slime.
Right.
So here's what I'm going to say. If you're a kid and you're trying to be cool and whatever, I
right.
could see why they would drink this. It doesn't have a strong alcohol flavor.
Well, it's the girls at college or the girls in high school that
Tastes
are
like
drinking
poo.
Yeah, it's bad. Well, I think a lot. What are those? The seltzer drinks. They're not alcoholic, but what are they fucking called? They're real popular. Like yuppie fuckers are drinking. What the fuck is it called? St. Croix.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
LaCroix.
Right? LaCroix. That's
LaCroix.
right.
LaCroix.
What's St. Croix?
It's a island.
I think it's a brand of something
It's
too.
an
but
island.
Town in Canada.
I feel like it's a brand of something too. But anyway,
LaCroix is a water.
And we the first time I ran across one of those, we think we were staying in an Airbnb or something
They're
like
bad.
that. And then someone left some in the fridge, and the boys were like, "Ooh, well, this is going to be great." And it was like peach, and they
Yeah.
took a drink, and it was like, "There's no peach. It's all
My,
just hell."
My
I
sister
don't like
drinks
this.
those. That's all she
Yeah.
drinks.
Fucking
I have
terrible.
tried
Coconut
several
flavor
flavors,
and
Yeah,
and
there's
I
no
just
good.
can't find one that I like.
But like,
She drinks coconut and lime. Those are the two that she
Okay.
mostly drinks. So if
I've
you
never
haven't had
tried
those-
coconut.
But
Now,
do you
to
remember
me,
when we were
this
kids, the New York seltzers in the little glass bottles? They had like the foam wrapper around.
Those
stuff.
were good.
They're still around. You
Yeah.
can get them at Schnucks. You can get them
Really?
at grocery stores. Those were amazing, right?
Yeah.
And then there was the taller bottle. I forget what they're clearly Canadian. I
Clearly
think is what it's
Canadian.
called.
And that was
And
tasty.
those were good.
Yeah, this
Why'd they
shit.
fuck with
But
it?
see, now I feel like this tastes like any other flavored seltzer water I've ever had. I don't taste the alcohol. So to me, that's
Agreed.
dangerous because this is 5%.
I don't
Yeah.
know,
And you
give it
barely
another whirl.
taste it. Now, I wouldn't want to drink it all night long, but
No.
if I was a 19-year-old chick,
Okay, what I can
I'd
say,
be drinking this. Look at her. She's got the gag face going.
what I can say is that maybe a different flavor.
Yeah, they do have a variety pack, but I didn't want to commit that much.
Yeah.
It's a lot of commitment.
like-
It was $9 commitment doing this.
I'm
If
sure.
I'd have bought the variety pack, it would have been like 18, I think.
So for me, a different flavor, maybe.
Yeah.
This is
It would
taking me
taste
back
better.
to my college years
Yeah.
When you were drinking your pussy drinks.
and my 30s.
Drinking Zima with a fucking
Zima. I liked Zima.
with a Jolly Rancher dropped in it.
Hey, that was good.
I know you.
That was good. I did that. I
Yeah.
did that. The cherry Jolly
We tried to
Ranchers.
find Zima one episode because what were we doing it for? We were doing for some reason we were trying to find it.
Invite me back. I'll hook you up because they have it at Friar Tuck's.
Do they still have it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Because I didn't look at Fire Tucks, but I looked around and I couldn't find it. So we
Or
gave
maybe
up
it was
on that.
Randall's. We were at both places in the past 2 weeks. One of the places had
and they
it.
had Zima.
I
Wow.
saw it because I pointed it out. I was like, holy shit.
I wonder how
Zima.
fast the stock turns over on Zima. Like, how many people out there are like,
Well,
oh,
isn't it a
shit, I got to
it's
go
a
to the store.
Coca-Cola product, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it is.
I thought it was an
I don't know.
Anheuser-Busch thing whenever they were
Maybe I'm
making it.
wrong. I might
I don't
be
think
wrong.
Coca-Cola makes alcoholic.
Well, it's a malt beverage. It's not a beer.
Premium malt beverage.
Premium malt beverage. Yeah. Sorry.
That's how he explained it away to all of his college friends that called him a freaking queer.
It says it on the can.
Yeah.
Premium malt beverage.
Let's see
on
if
the bottle.
my phone will work.
Freaking queer.
Well, I'm saying that it's a period.
Thanks.
It's a period statement.
Thanks, Ryan.
It's not
Yeah, it was in the
appropriate
90s.
today.
You wouldn't say that anymore.
No,
Back
you can't
then
say
it
it
was
now.
okay.
I'm saying what they called you in the 90s. That's
Yeah.
what they would have done.
Okay.
Yeah.
My shit won't work down here.
Yeah.
So I have
I'm
a
not on
question
your
for you.
Wi-Fi.
When you were, let's say, college years.
I didn't go
Or-
to college.
Well, okay.
Well, you were enrolled.
Yeah. I just never
Interesting.
showed up.
All right.
She enrolled for a while, and then and then they said, "Hey, you gonna come?"
I fool a lot of people though, and I feel like
This is a story. I want to hear it. What happened? What'd you do? You
got
enrolled in
married.
college but didn't go?
it was community college.
Okay.
I went for
That counts.
a semester. Yeah. No, I went for a year. A semester, I actually went and I paid
Okay.
attention and I did the work.
Yeah.
You're right.
And then the second semester, I didn't like the classes. I waited too long to drop. So my grandma and my uncle lived real close to campus.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just go there and sleep.
Hmm.
And my grandma would never rat me out because she
Yeah.
was badass.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and at the time, my uncle was still working, so I didn't have to worry about him narking on me. And so, yeah, and then at that point, I was like, okay, this isn't working anymore. So I had to come clean to my dad and tell
Mm-hmm.
him I didn't want to do it anymore. So it's like, you got to get a full-time job. So I did.
Which you did, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I got a couple.
yeah.
And then I met my husband, and the rest is history. So
Yep.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if had I not met Brian whenever I was, I think it was summer between 19 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would have done. I look back now and I think I'd like to think that I would have gone back to school and,
Yeah.
and figured something out.
You didn't
but
really like school, though.
no, it wasn't for
Yeah.
me. I wasn't good at it.
I think you would have found a job somewhere. You would have gone along the same kind of path. You just would maybe not have had a man,
Yeah.
or a different guy. But I think you still would have gone down the similar path.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I mean,
which there's nothing wrong with that, because I mean I've said it countless times that I mean if you can go to college and not go broke and not go into extreme debt and
use your
not-
education.
right, and not miss opportunities at the expense of your education, by all means, go get that education. Go to college. But if it's going to put a mountain of debt on top of you, and you're going to miss out on some other opportunities, go to those other opportunities.
Right, which is
'cause-
what we did with Morgan.
Yeah.
Morgan chose opportunity over education at the time.
right. You can always go back. I was talking about this with some guys yesterday about high school athletes that get some baseball players specifically that get drafted right out of high school, and that happens every year. It happens, and in a lot of cases, the baseball player will decline and he'll go to college. I feel like that's foolish, and here's why: because number one, they even if they get a scholarship, it's a partial scholarship. They're never going to they're not getting full rides. Everything's split in 12 different ways or something like that. So they're not getting a full ride in most cases, and they're running a huge risk of injuring themselves and then never making it to professional baseball.
Yeah.
So if you go right out of high school to professional baseball, and it also takes an extremely long time to make it through the minor league program into the big league team. So I feel like you should, if you get that chance, you should jump on it, seize that opportunity, and if at any point it blows up, you blow out your arm or whatever, you realize that you give up on it, you can always go to college. You
Sure.
can go to college at 24, you can go to college at 34. So yeah, tackle the opportunity now within reason. Obviously, if you don't have any athletic ability, or you don't have something else, you don't have that opportunity. You shouldn't force some other cockamamie opportunity. Like, well, I'm going to go crab fishing in the Great White North, and well,
try
wait a
and
minute.
find Mr. Flugelbinder.
Yeah, maybe you might need to hit the community college.
Yeah. So anyway,
I feel like well, this is back to what Ryan was saying, but if you were a college baseball player that got drafted, chances are your goal is to play professional baseball.
Right. Sure.
And so if you already got drafted out of high school, even if it's in the last round or whatever,
right,
you should just do that. Like, that's what your goal is to do anyway. Now, I know those guys who think they're that good, their goal is to get drafted in the first round and make $5 million,
right,
right away. But
that's difficult.
Like you said, it takes years to get through the minors, so start that process now.
Start when you're 18.
4 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the
always
flip
go back
side
to
of that
college.
is, but unless you were getting a full ride or something to play,
but those are rare.
I mean,
those are really
it is
rare. You know.
Now, we had a kid in town here in Waterloo, the best baseball player I've ever watched personally play, and
youth baseball player. Not
correct,
ever.
Correct.
I mean, you've seen Bryce Harper,
the best high school baseball player I've ever seen play.
Yeah.
He got drafted out of high school, but he also had an opportunity to go to one of the biggest baseball programs in the whole country, university, and he chose to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it has not exactly worked out for him. He's just kind of done okay. In fact, I think going into his senior year, he's looking to transfer to a different school where he can get more opportunity to play.
Baseball's hard.
It is hard.
It's a very difficult
and
sport.
I have
people
to
don't...
think at this point he's wishing he just went to the draft and went to the team that drafted him.
Well, and if he had, then by now he would be like,
he'd
all
be
right,
3 years into his minor league career.
and either you'd be making money,
or not,
or not,
or whatever.
But you could have made it to AAA, or maybe seen a shot at the bigs a little bit. But you definitely would have known a lot more about what your chances are and what your future holds.
Now, there's something to be said for learning more at that collegiate level with potentially less pressure, though he was like at an SEC school. So
I feel like a lot of these
not
kids,
less
though,
pressure, but
even though they're going to college, they're not really learning a lot. They're just playing more baseball, and they're kind of going through the motions, and I don't know. That's
okay, so fuck all that. My question for you
what was your question?
at those years, let's say 2021, did you feel like women, were pressured to drink different drinks like this shit? Or did you get to just drink beer like anybody else? Were you like, oh, that's for guys. You need to be drinking Zima or whatever?
I don't. At least not the people that I spent time with.
Okay.
There were girls that were excellent beer drinkers.
Yeah.
And then there were girls who
they excelled
excellent
at it.
beer drinkers. And then there were the ones that were more into like, mixed drinks, hard liquor, whatever, wine, the Zimas, the Bartles and James, so I feel like in most cases, girls are going to go more for fruity, kind of.
But that wasn't you? Or it was a little bit? When did you become a beer drinker?
About 6 years ago.
Oh, okay. Pretty recently.
When I was 15, I got drunk on warm Miller Lite.
Yeah.
And it came...
It came back up.
He narked on me, little shit.
What?
I think he fucked the carpet up, too.
No, I did not. No, I did not. So I obviously had no idea what
I was
gonna
worried about
happen.
you. I didn't narc on you. I just didn't want you to choke on your own vomit.
Mom, Dad, and Ryan went to
You
the
got
ball
the whole
game
Jimi Hendrix thing
that night, and I went to a friend's house who was having people over. Her parents were out of town.
And they apparently didn't have a refrigerator.
She had older siblings that were able to get us beer. Yeah, I don't know what the hell.
While it was warm.
I
Yeah.
haven't
We got
the slightest
warm beer.
idea. So, we had the bright idea to try and slam them as fast as we could. I ended up
Because that's what you do. Yeah.
I ended up laying in the middle of the street singing that song from Jaws, that Show Me the Way to Go Home.
Oh, show me. That's a good one.
I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
You know what? I've laid in the middle of that same street. A buddy of mine
Mango.
pushed me out of... no, mine wasn't Mango. Mine was Coffee Tree.
Oh. I was laying in the middle of Mango.
Yeah. But I got pushed out of the car by Dave.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was a night of drinking rum. That was the night I threw up on the brand new carpet.
Okay. You are the one who messed up the carpet.
Yeah, I
never
did.
threw up
and
on
it
carpet.
was brand new. The carpet was like a month old. Just laid in my bedroom. And I went up to go to bed, and I had drank a lot of shitty rum, too, Bacardi. And at least it was dark. I think it was dark rum. But I haven't drank it since. I don't drink Bacardi.
So
it's been a long time.
My brilliant mind decided, I had a waterbed. Let's start with that. And so I get home and I think, okay, I need to just go to bed. Yes, I did.
Okay.
And so I laid down and said waterbed, and things moved and churned and happened. And so I had this brilliant idea that if I threw up out my window, that my mom and dad would never know that I had gotten sick. And so I think
seems reasonable,
right? So I think maybe my first shot might have, like, it was all down the wall. It was everywhere. Man. So I'm trying to clean it up, and then I realize that I need to brush my teeth. Like, what if they come and talk to me? I have to brush my teeth. And that's whenever fart face over here. Mom came in and she said something like, "What's wrong with you?" And
she's drunk.
Yeah, and I think she's drunk. Mom, her toothbrush is wet. She's been brushing her teeth. There's something on the floor in here. What's on the floor in here? It's a towel.
Inspector Clouseau, man. I was on top of that shit. I don't remember that, but that's funny.
I remember just sitting there like, shut the
you
fuck
little
up.
motherfucker.
Yeah. And so I think the next day was
show Mom your porno collection.
Yeah, I think the next day, which my grandma bought for him.
Yeah.
But the next day was Easter. And I remember going downstairs the next morning, and I was thirsty.
I can imagine.
And I was
a little
like
dehydrated.
Chugging Tang or orange juice or whatever we had. And I looked at my mom and I said, I'm thirsty. And she goes, I bet. And I was just like, oh, nice. Shit, that's right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the questions. Yeah, then the questions all happen. Like, where'd you get the alcohol? Where'd you get this? So to answer your question, beer, done.
Okay, you were done at that point.
Just couldn't choke it back. I mean, every now and then I would, throw one back, but that was
then
just...
what were you drinking? I mean, you've drank pretty much...
Can I be completely honest?
Yeah.
I turned into a pothead.
Well, but you drank beer, we would go to bars and stuff like that, and you would drink whenever you were out. But were you drinking, like, whiskey sours and shit like that? Or?
No, I would drink. I would carry a beer around, and I would drink it, and every now and then I would actually drink it, but I was really good at just holding a beer. And then I would take shots, so I would get the beer.
Yeah, I can't do that.
And then I would take some shots, and then I would catch a buzz, and I didn't have to worry about drinking too many beer because it always made me want to burp.
I threw up on the deck one night, and it was
I only did it once.
The same deck that she eventually her vomit landed on the same deck.
Cut out the window.
Out the same at that window. But I walked out on the deck and got sick. And
I feel like your dad probably cleaned the deck all of these times.
No, he never did.
We had to make sure we covered our tracks.
Okay.
So when I did it, I think it was like New Year's Eve. And so it was very cold.
Ooh, did your puke freeze?
It froze.
Where the hell was I? Why didn't I know this happened?
But I got in trouble. I didn't really get in trouble. I just got in trouble that I didn't clean it up. And they're like, you need to go clean that up. I'm like, well, fuck, it's frozen. So I go out there and I'm like, well, it's fucking frozen. And they're like, figure it out. I'm like, God damn it. So I had to go get a bucket of hot water. I'm out there scrubbing it, chipping.
How old were you?
I don't know. I was probably 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Like that. We
were bad kids.
It was dumb.
See, there was never any... we didn't get caught with that kind of thing. There was never... Our parents were never like... You better clean that up, or I'll bet you're thirsty. It was always like we didn't dare
try to
let them know that anything was going on.
I think we pushed the envelope because
if
we
were
figured
ever
they
drinking,
were drunk.
It was like out of the house at a friend's house. They never.
No, we pushed it because we figured they were too drunk to notice that we were drunk.
A lot of times that was the case.
And that was the case. It was like, well, we're good. They're never gonna fucking know.
How many times did I have to carry Dad up the steps, physically carry Dad up
By
the
the
steps?
time I was in college,
we didn't have to deal with that.
like my second year of college, when I was home during the summer or whatever, I would come home after a night of drinking, and I would go into the living room, and my dad would be in there drunk and listening to Sinatra or whatever, and he'd be like, get another one, and I'd go get him and I another beer, and we'd sit there and drink another 6-pack and listen to music and bullshit and just talk about whatever. And those were some of the best times of my life.
Yeah.
And but I think he had at that point, like, she got in trouble. She was the older one, so she got in trouble or whatever. And by the time I come around, he was kind of like, well, fuck it. He's he's in my in my image. I may as well just let it go and hey, get another one. So that's kind of how I am.
I was like permanently grounded because I got in trouble for every little thing that I did.
Not that.
Part of it was part of it was that I wasn't a good student, and so if I got poor grades, they would ground me to try and like encourage me in some fucked up way to get better grades.
Yeah, did it work?
So, no, and so what it did was, and they all know this now, was make me very good at cheating, off of smart people. See, and very little studying actually happened, and I got really good at being sneaky, which is why I never grounded my kids ever. It was always an open communication, and there were restrictions.
Right.
If they did something stupid or whatever, they'd get a restriction, but they never got I got grounded to the point where I literally could go to school, come home, eat, go to my room. Yeah, that was it. I couldn't watch television.
It was easier to ground people back then, ground kids back then, because now it's like we've been over this. You take your daughter's phone away, or if I take Chuck's phone away, Jesus Christ, can you imagine the upheaval that would occur at that moment?
Yeah, I've seen
the only bad thing about so in my opinion, the only thing that if they leave the house, they need their phone because we need them to have their phone.
And that's the other. It was schoolwork. I've grounded them from the internet, and they're like, "Well, I need to do it for homework. I need to go for homework." And I'm like,
"So then you have to monitor and who wants to do that shit."
Right.
It's complicated now.
It is.
It's like you got Wi-Fi, and you can block their IP address, but then they also have a tablet or
our
a
parents just had to turn the fucking
something.
TV off and tell us to go to our room, unplug a phone, yank it out of your room.
How many times my phone got yanked out of the wall? I can't even count. Because they tried you can't be on the phone past 9 o'clock. Why?
Now,
why?
You listen to the show, so I think you're aware that we give Ryan shit about his well-to-do upbringing and the moat around the house and the staff,
Not the
help.
case. I don't know what you're thinking.
So, do you perceive that at all? As you guys were,
we were fortunate, but we weren't rich.
We were not rich. We were.
We had shit, but we were living in a very, very middle class, like the epitome of middle class neighborhoods.
I mean, we lived like all of our friends, and then we had friends that were less, and we had friends that were substantially more.
Oh, yeah, substantially.
I mean, I went to high school with the Barra family. Barra Construction.
They were very rich.
So their house was. They had
a fucking moat. They had help.
Yes.
They had nannies. They didn't really talk to their mom. They weren't allowed to talk to their mom.
Right. She was too busy doing philanthropy.
Right.
But
philanthropy.
Yeah. Nice. But my point is that I don't. We were fortunate. Our dad worked hard.
So you're just as naive as Ryan.
I think that we had a very similar life to everybody else.
I wouldn't have got caught.
Yeah. Right.
No, we did. The only thing we had a cleaning lady for a while, but everybody in our house, I think including my mother, hated the cleaning lady.
Why?
Because we had to clean before the fucking cleaning lady came.
For sure. Yep.
And it was like, why are we doing this?
I feel like I'm cleaning
Everyone
harder
I've
for the
known
cleaning lady.
that has had a cleaning lady cleans their house before the cleaning lady gets there because it's too embarrassing
to have her.
So
why not just do it yourself? So I just do it myself.
Yeah.
Well, I would never do that.
No, I just
and then the cleaning lady stole shit from me, but no one believes me on
like
that.
your duplicate video game.
I had one. Yeah.
All I remember about the cleaning lady is that she broke the light fixture in the dining room.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah.
And then she couldn't get it replaced because they didn't make it anymore, so we had to change them to the amber-colored globes on the chandelier in the dining room.
I remember that.
I totally remember it.
We had some shit that we had in our house was like so 80s. I mean, like the mural in the dining room.
That was there when we moved in, though. That wasn't Mom and Dad's choice.
There was a motherfucker to take down, too. But like, there was just certain things. It's like, you look back and you're like, oh my God, that was really like plaid carpeting.
So let's go down the list. 80s home decor. I picture brass fixtures, faucets and all that, knobs and everything. Was wood paneling? That was probably before the 80s. It was there. It was still
I think it was
up
still
in the
there. It was a different kind.
Wainscoting now. They call it wainscoting.
It was a different kind of wood paneling. There was like the 50s wood paneling that was like real thick, nice cedar. That stuff is desirable. And if you find a house with that
plywood stuff.
I'm talking about the shit you could peel off.
Yeah.
But that's very 80s. I think
that was 70s because that was in my house whenever we bought it. My house was built in the 70s,
and it probably just lingered around through the 80s.
I perceive it, but only because that's when I first noticed. But like split foyer houses were big in the 80s, but they probably were built.
They were probably built in the
70s. Yeah.
We lived in one.
We did.
The
Falcon View.
First house was split level when I was a kid.
But I kind of miss that. I kind of like that. I mean, I know it was kind of it was weird because it was difficult to heat and cool because it was a weird house. We never went down in the lower level.
It was so cold.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So cold.
And I just remember no one really liked to live in that house. I liked it because whenever it snowed, there was a nice hill on the side that you could actually sled down. That's where I got attacked by wasps, and my mother pulled my pants down in front of the entire school bus.
You had to, though. They were in your clothes.
I know.
What?
Have I ever told that story on here?
No.
It was one of my most embarrassing moments of my life. I was probably in first or second grade, and I got off the school bus, and somehow or another, I don't remember exactly how it went down, but I got attacked by wasps, like
more than one,
like a gang.
Like a gang.
Yeah.
A wasp gang.
Like, yeah, they had jackets and everything.
They were bullying him. Yeah.
And they're like, look at that fucking
yellow
guy.
jackets.
Yeah. And, like, I think he called your mom a bitch. And then they fucking came after me. And
You're just a bumblebee.
So anyway, they come after me, and they were in like went up my pant leg, and they were in my clothes. And I started fucking freaking out.
It was bad.
And so my mom, she's like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
I feel like one wasp could get in your clothes.
Shay Rogers' mom was down there with her station wagon, and she gave us a ride home. Like, she met her kids down there, and she saw you freaking out.
Okay.
Knew that you had gotten stung by something. Drove you up to the house. Mom came out and talked to Mrs. Rogers, and then
stripped me fucking naked.
That's whenever you started like twitching again, and Mom yanked your pants down and pulled your shirt up, and sure enough, you got stung to fuck.
Yeah. But at the same time, the school bus had gone around and was coming back.
We got to see this.
The school bus goes back the other way, and there I am standing there in my fucking skivvies.
There's tiny little Ryan all nudie Rudy.
I'm like, motherfucker.
And he was such a little
It's
sucker.
bad enough. I got this fucking patch on my eye and these thick-ass glasses. I can't fucking see shit. I got allergies every day. I'm sniffling all the fucking time. And then now you're going to pull my fucking pants down in front of the whole school bus.
So do people give you shit about it?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't think you got picked on for that. No.
There's a lot of other shit I got picked on for. But...
No, you didn't get picked on for that. Yeah. I don't remember.
I got picked on for the patch on my eye, but that was short-lived. That was like a year or two.
I don't remember. I remember picking on you.
And that was a corrective vision thing?
Yeah, I have a lazy eye. I still do. But especially
Did
when I
you
drink.
enjoy that, sweetheart? You want mine?
I've drank mine. I finished mine.
You want mine?
No, not really. Not particularly.
I just don't want to be wasteful because I'm not going to drink it.
Well,
Bleh.
Go back to Busch Light.
It gives me the gags. It tastes like Robitussin.
Yeah.
To me, it does.
So, like, what? So, I've given, like, one of my most embarrassing moments of my entire life. You got one?
I mean, not that I'm going to share on video. But
you don't want to relive it.
Let's see. If I had to come up with something, one that does kind of, that I, for whatever reason, it always kind of comes back into my head at different times. I remember being a freshman in high school, and my sister was a senior, so she had lots of other senior girlfriends that I would inevitably, know or become sort of friends with because of my sister, right?
Right. I had the same thing.
That I would never have ever been associated with if it wasn't for her, right? Yeah. And we're talking like some of the hottest, most popular chicks in school. Or whatever,
I feel you, brother.
Right?
Shut. Yeah. Let's not go deep diving into this shit.
I feel you. Yeah.
So one time I was
a great source.
I was in the band, right? I was in the band, the concert band and the marching band, which isn't the coolest thing ever. But some of these attractive young ladies were also in the band. And one of them said she had a headache and was asking for a ibuprofen or Tylenol or whatever, aspirin, and asked if so-and-so, I don't remember if it was my sister or another friend, had, do you have an ibuprofen in your purse? And me being the dumb, ignorant 14-year-old that I was, why would she have an ibuprofen in her purse? And everybody just kind of like, he obviously doesn't know about female.
Needs.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? Why?
Oh.
Right.
And
then later on you figured it out.
And then I was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Shoot me now.
Why?
Yeah.
So here, like, embarrassing things that you've said that because of your lack of awareness.
Oh, God, I have one. Mine's so good.
Okay, well, go ahead. What's yours?
It's bad. I was a sophomore, and I was in, it was like a lit class, and we had to write a paper, and we had to pick.
I just thought of another one for you, but
they gave us the teacher gave us famous Missourians, let's just say. And he made it interesting, and you could steal from someone's. Like we all went around the room and named who we wanted. And I had just heard, and I don't know if it was on a movie or what it was, of this word that I thought was funny. And I thought it was just kind of like calling somebody an asshole or whatever.
Oh, God.
And so, be prepared to bleep this.
Okay. We don't.
Why don't you just say the first letter of it?
M. You're not going to know.
M.
Yeah. No. Let me go. Let me finish. So we go around the room, and I picked Laura Ingalls Wilder that I was going to do my research paper on.
Is she from Missouri?
So, work with me here.
All right.
This is what he does.
Yeah. So
Just curious.
the answer's no. I think she's from Kansas, but nonetheless,
Close.
I'm choosing someone that I'm familiar with, and it's going to be easy, and I'm going to be able to find all sorts of information.
Yep.
And the next person comes, and the teacher says, Rebecca, do you want to switch with so and so? And they had I don't even know. I can't even think of anybody that obscure. And I said, no. What do you think I am? Some kind of.
Oh.
I had no idea that the word was derogatory towards black people. I had no idea. Oh, wow. None whatsoever. I had just heard it. Oh, yeah. And there were several black kids in the class.
Oh, shit.
So my good friend, Kim.
Oh, yeah. I know that, bro.
You know her.
Yeah.
She decides to, put me on blast right there in front of everyone. Yeah. She's like, oh, my God. I cannot believe you just said that.
She didn't talk like that.
Yes, she did. She talked exactly like that.
I like to think she did.
And I was like, what? I honestly, I had absolutely no idea that it was that bad.
Yeah.
And so then she whispered to me what it was, and I could feel myself go all different shades of red.
Oh, shit.
And then I thought, this is going to be 3 o'clock high. I'm going to get my ass kicked the second that I walk out that door.
They accepted your ignorance, though, and said, she just don't know any better?
They never said a word to me. I never brought it up again because I thought if I apologize too much, then it's like I'm trying too hard.
Yeah.
And it was pure ignorance. It wasn't because I was being derogatory. I wasn't being mean,
mine's
whatever.
Not even close to that.
It was horrible. And even the teacher was like, could not believe that I had just said that.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's mine. And this is
I thought we already.
It's so innocent.
This is like naked in front of the bus, wasn't it?
This is saying something that you just out of pure ignorance, you say something so stupid and and it weighs on my head. So I was probably 5 years old. We were in Denver. And I think Terry Kyle and whoever were watching. My parents were home. And whatever, they had friends over. And I'm laying in bed. I was told to go to bed. I'm 5, right? I'm told to go to bed. I'm laying in bed, and for whatever reason, I wanted my mom to come in, or my dad, one of them. And I'm calling, hey, come here. Hey, I'm being an asshole. And they're like, and so someone yelled back. I think it was my mother yelled back. She's like, I'll be there in a second. And I yelled back. I'm like, no, make it a minute. Because I didn't know the fucking difference.
Right.
Oh, I love it.
And in the other room, I just hear that.
Yeah.
I hear raucous laughter. I'm like, what? What the fuck? I'm obviously not saying what the fuck is so funny. But I was pissed. I was mortified. And I'm like, wait a minute. Do I have this wrong? Hold on a second. Seconds, minutes. What did Mrs. Garland teach me?
Oh.
But I was 5, and I remember that because I was mortified. I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot.
Well, that's
I don't
the thing.
know.
I mean, clearly, I never used that word in mixed company ever again, if I ever even used it again. But I was absolutely mortified.
Another one was also in Denver, embarrassing as hell. I was in some kindergarten play or something like that, and I was a clown, and they put makeup on me and made me wear stupid clothes or whatever. And a couple friends of mine were also clowns, and
Seth.
Yes, was also a clown. My only friend, really. And so we thought, all right, well, we can do this. We can be funny. We're clowns. And I don't even remember what the whole context of the play was, but so we're clowns. And so we thought it was funny to flip our shoe off our foot, to be walking and your shoe just flips off your foot.
Right.
Well, you do that once, and you're out of gas. And you're 5 years old. You don't have a lot of other jokes in the tank, right? So then you go find your fucking shoe, and what do? You do it again.
You flip it off again, yeah.
And you do it over and over and over again until the teacher's like, okay, scene's over. And I remember being on stage doing this thing, doing it once, okay, I'm fucked now, and doing it again, and then continue to do it. Like, I feel like I've really worn this thing out. And I was mortified there in the spot. I'm like, this is horrible. This is not good. So, yeah. Needless to say, I didn't like being on stage for a long time after that.
Along the lines of saying something that you didn't know what you were saying, I grew up in a very conservative Christian home, sheltered, if you will. We weren't allowed to say any kind of curse word. Crap was considered a curse word. We couldn't say crap.
Wow.
Yeah, none of that. Jeez, couldn't say jeez because that was short for Jesus. That kind of thing. So it was the
Could you say dang it?
No dang it, none of that because it was all just a substitute for damn it. Yeah, no, none of that.
No dag nabbit.
Right. So
serious shit.
That's the context, right? Yeah. Now we were shoe shopping one day, my whole family, or my mom and my brother and sister.
It's probably a Kenny shoes.
Right. And it was probably a Foot Locker or Athlete's Foot, one of those. And I was, I think, the one trying on some different shoes. And it was like Nikes or whatever, and you know how they would have the different colors, right? So they had the black version of a shoe and then the white color scheme or whatever. And
well, black people can wear all kinds of shoes, and white people can wear all kinds of shoes too.
That's a whole other topic.
God.
But so there was a description that you could kind of get away with using the word wuss. You didn't want to be called a wuss, right? Like a
but it's a substitute for pussy.
Right.
Sure.
But at the time, in the era we were growing up in, early 90s, wuss was like an acceptable way of saying
it was like
wimp. Yeah.
Okay.
You could say wimp, and so wuss was like a substitute for that. As far as I know, my parents were naive about the actual connotation of that. And apparently my sister was too. And she, while describing these two shoes that I was deciding between, the white ones or the black ones, she said, "You should get the black ones. Black shoes are tough. White shoes are pussy." Right in front of my mom. But in her mind, she thought wussy and pussy was the same thing.
And she just
just said it in front of my mom. And it was like my brother and I were just exactly like that.
Time stood still. Yeah.
And we just like walked away. And my sister's like,
"We'll be over here while you get your ass whooped."
Yeah, exactly.
And my mom was not happy.
I imagine.
But,
I'm surprised that my parents actually, thinking back now, and I guess maybe, in the mid to late 80s, early 90s, well, mid to late 80s, getting a phone call from the teacher in regards to my misusing, not misusing. But
they called home on that?
No, they didn't. But think about it, though. Had something like that happened today,
sure, yeah.
I would have been suspended. I would have been called every name in the book because it would have been a racist remark. Exactly. When it was just pure stupidity. I had absolutely no idea what the word meant. I heard it on a movie I probably shouldn't have been watching, or potentially from my father's mouth. I have no idea.
Grandfather probably, but yeah.
Whatever. I heard
Maybe
it somewhere and I thought it sounded funny. I liked the name. I liked how it sounded. Kind of like I liked Bastard, apparently, whenever I called it Jack Schmidt Bastard because he made you cry.
Yeah.
My parents' best friend. I called him a bastard.
Right. I feel like I'm sure there's so many countless examples of times we've used words that as kids we didn't know what it meant.
Right.
And you just said it. And
and sometimes it doesn't matter, and then sometimes it matters big. And that was one of those things where if I look back, like, and it happened today, that would be horrible.
I won't get into it, but like I know there's times whenever I said things trying to be like my dad or like an adult, like a mentor to me. And I just didn't, because I was a dumbass kid. It didn't come out right, and I got in trouble for it in some cases because I was overstepping because I was just a kid. But I'd listen to what someone else had said and said, "Oh, okay." That they laughed whenever he said it. I want to get that laugh too.
Yeah, for sure.
And when I said it wasn't a curse word. It wasn't like I said anything crass or
smart ass or disrespectful.
It was smart ass, disrespectful. One of them was when I made fun of Uncle Jim's car. I said something about, and I didn't get touched. I didn't get beat or anything like that, but I got a tongue lashing. Just because it was extreme. I mean, and I'm looking back on it, it's a mortifying moment too. Sure. Like, that was I was a fucking dickhead, man. I was being an asshole kid, but it was because I had heard other people do the same shit, and I was just emulating things and just too stupid to know any better.
Right.
You know. Part of coming of age. Look at that. That's right. Coming full circle.
Look at how you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming of age. Well, some of us did it more gracefully than others.
Right.
Well,
I came stumbling in all over that. Whatever.
Yeah, that's probably a good time to wrap this up. We've kind of gone well into a half-loaded episode, but we appreciate the White Claw hard seltzer.
Don't.
I'm not sure we actually appreciate it.
I might leave those.
I might leave those here for you.
It's nasty.
You know, maybe
tastes
my
like
mom
watery
will drink them.
Robitussin.
Well, I took them. So I could take them home. And I know that
son will
that asshole
drink
kid will drink them. But he made me a deal. He's like, Dad, I need you to get me some Abita. He likes all this Abita beer from New Orleans, and it's what the hell's it called? I forget what it's called. Something purple, something or other. Purple doesn't matter.
Oh, I had that. You had it on Mother's Day.
Potentially, yeah.
It was tasty.
Yeah, it's a good beer. It's a really good beer, and I want to say it's Purple Passion, but it's not. Purple Passion.
No.
It's
something
something completely different. But anyway, so he's like, I want you to go get me if you could. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why? First of all, he goes, well, just, in case I got my bitches over. I'm like, you ain't got no bitches. You got Ronnie, and she ain't a bitch. She's a nice girl, and she's just your friend. So, no, you ain't got no bitches. He goes, well, just because, if I'm down there playing video games with my buddies, I want to have a beer here and there. I'm like, no, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? Why would I do that? And he goes, well, I'm going to clean out that mini fridge. I'm going to put it in the basement, and I want beer in it. I'm like, no, this went on. He fucking won somehow. And I was like, because I was like, all right, well, I think he'll do anything. I told Tammy, I was like, I think he'll do anything if I ask him. So I was like, all right, well, how about this? You clean the garage, and I'll think about it. And he's like, done. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, well, and then I just kept adding shit onto it. So
and he did it all?
Well, no, that's the problem. So I delivered on my end of the bargain. My garage is still a fucking mess, and that little jag-off went to Chicago this morning.
So you're the dumbass who let that happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to clean out the fridge in the basement tonight when I get home. I'm not fucking around, and I'm probably gonna take some other shit. I don't know what. Maybe I'll take like a shoe.
Maybe you should find a way to put a lock on the refrigerator and tell him that once your garage is clean, then he can have the key to the lock.
Yeah, he's just he's an ungrateful little shit. But he was smart
enough to dupe you, Dad.
Yeah, right. But we got in this fridge for free from friends, and and he's like, just kind of ungrateful about the whole thing. It's like
that's the age.
He's a kid.
They figure it out.
Right.
They do figure it out.
I'm going to take it all away and say, go buy your own damn mini fridge. I wouldn't mind having my own mini fridge.
Yeah.
Maybe in my living room. That'd be nice.
Oh, I'm sure Tammy would love that.
Thing.
Yeah.
You got it for him. Take it back. He didn't clean your
That's
garage.
about right. That's where we're at. So we'll see.
Well, we've talked foo-foo drinks and coffee drinks and most embarrassing moments.
Our coming of age moments.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything on this half.
See how we tied that in?
I think it worked out pretty well.
Totally meant to do it.
So.
See, you were worried. You're like, I don't like doing it. I don't like talking about nothing. Yeah,
see, when you imitate me, I even sound like Fran Drescher. Do I sound like Fran Drescher?
I've never thought that.
It's kind of.
So did you have a good time?
I did. I had a great time.
Do you want to come back?
I would like to come back.
I think we'll probably have you back.
I would
like
to
start your own podcast?
I don't feel like I could do it by myself. No, thank you.
No, I mean like another show though. Maybe we could do something about like true crimes or something like that.
Yeah, we can discuss that. I mean,
figure it out.
I mean, like a sub-series of Get a Load of This. Get a load of this fucking stupid crime.
We're going to have a podcast network going on here soon.
The true crime stuff's, but there's a lot of research.
And there's already a lot of podcasts out there like that too.
Yes, I listened to several.
I know. And it's tough. Now everybody has a podcast.
Yeah.
And so I think it's something you have to just accept going into this. It's like, you know that there's a mountain that you're trying to you're just trying to take a pebble off of.
But not everybody has White Claw hard seltzer on their
I feel like everybody could
white
though.
Clam.
Yeah.
Clam,
whatever you
I feel
want
like everybody could. I would like, I feel like we have a really professionally sounding podcast and look and feel and everything's good, it's well produced. But it'd be great if some microphone company out there would donate us some really kick-ass microphones.
Bob at Heil Sound. Come on, Bob Heil.
We're going to have to tag Bob and see if we can. We just test them out. We'll give a good review. We'll hopefully.
Well, if you hadn't just shit-talked Courtney Landrum, we could have got some shout-outs on Y98, but there you have.
Well, we've tried.
Open your
we've tried that with other radio shows.
I'm friends with her on Facebook. I could
so is everybody.
No, I'm friends with Trish Gazelle, too. She grew up with me. Which is why I'm friends with Courtney Landrum. I have connections.
Mm-hmm. If you texted her right now.
I can't text her.
If you messaged her on Facebook and said, hey, girl.
She would probably respond like, hey.
Who the fuck is this?
I think she's super cool. I think she's very down to earth.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
I do want to read the text that I exchanged with Ryan today.
Okay.
So...
hold on. What did I say?
It's all good.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Here we go.
Don't worry about it. Is your sis a beer drinker? Got anything in mind? Your heavy coffee drinking, real
Stout.
man's beer.
I don't pay attention to that
Beer
much.
drinking sister. Ryan's reply was thinking of getting some Truly or something like that.
Yeah, well,
It's alcoholic. I kind of want an excuse to try it, and I think it's right up your alley.
Right. Yeah.
So basically,
Truly
I
or
was a
White
crutch
Claw,
for
he
the
says.
two of you
Yeah.
to get
Right.
what you wanted.
I wanted to try it. Mission accomplished. I'm done with that experiment. And I really did think he'd like it. And
He did.
I mean,
he did like it.
He liked it better than he liked my coffee
Yeah.
stout.
Oh yeah, that's no doubt.
It's okay. It's
I
all
don't
And
mind.
we just needed a
Takes me back to my roots.
we just needed a lady to give us a reason.
And
to,
the lady finished a beer and a
That's
half, and the
right.
white
Yeah.
clam
Yeah.
is still full.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
Well, we appreciate you coming by. It was a good
Thanks for
time.
having me. It's been a good time.
You will definitely get another invitation.
Appreciate it.
Maybe we'll do a remote again. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll come,
we need to do that. It's time for a remote.
You can come hang out at my house.
I have to do something over in St. Louis. We haven't really.
Yeah, we need to get in you guys' old stomping grounds. Find a pub over there that
Yeah.
first
We
time
could-
you threw up or something.
Those weren't in a pub. Those were in
that
like
was on your deck.
back roads
That
and
was on a
shit like
street,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good idea. I think
It'd be fun.
our next episode will probably not have a guest. I think we're going to try to maybe recap some things, get to some of the stuff that we left
I don't know.
out.
We got to talk about that.
Maybe we'll have a guest.
I don't like that
know.
idea.
Oh,
Quite honestly, so we got to
Sorry.
talk about that. I feel like
it's my house, motherfucker.
Well, I know, but I feel like if we didn't talk about it during the podcast, it wasn't important enough to talk about.
See, I disagree. I feel like we left out a lot of stuff that we wanted to talk
It
about.
obviously wasn't important. You'd have brought it up.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with
Well,
you there.
Are we still
just
videotaping?
because
We are.
yes, just
I have to
because
pee.
Time to go.
just because Bill says it doesn't make it true.
Hey.
Fuck Bill. Fuck you, Bill.
Wow, he's
I
listening
feel like
and watching.
so you're gonna edit this.
Yeah.
Bill knows
apparently.
I'm full of shit.
All right.
No, but what? Okay, go
We're
ahead,
going to
finish
wrap
up.
it up.
She's got to pee.
She's got to
Really
go.
bad.
Jared and I are gonna fight.
Yeah. Until next time, I'm Jared.
I am Ryan. Wait, we didn't do some things. Hold on. Check us out on social media at
They
Load
don't-
This
they know
Podcast on
the
Instagram,
drill.
Twitter, and
She's gotta
Facebook.
pee.
She'll be all right. She'll make it. Send us an email, loadthispodcast@gmail.com, or drop us a message on YouTube right below this thing.
Someday
And,
we'll get on Instagram
yeah.
again.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. And it'd be really cool if we had like the thing at the end of the video where it was like, it had the little things that pop up and say, "Hey, click here to subscribe."
Yeah.
Or
We're not that advanced.
click here for this next video.
You don't know how to do
We
that?
need to
like,
figure
is that
that
a
out.
thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
I'm not in charge of that.
It's not automatic.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to touch that. I'll probably.
Oh, I'm gonna pee in my
She
pants.
really is.
All right. Anyway, so until next time,
I'm Jared.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Rebecca.
Yeah, you are.
And this is Half Loaded.
We gotta taste this piss too.
I
Yeah.
feel like
This piss.
I feel like this microphone picks up my breathing more.
Or you're breathing.
It might. Well, don't breathe on
Yeah.
it.
I also feel like I'm a fat fuck. Like I can't sit very long
Well-
anymore. I have gained so much weight. I'm starting P90X,
Are
a
you?
version of it. I'm gonna because I own 1
Like a
and 3.
P90A?
No, I own version 1 and I own the P90X3. P90X3 has shorter workouts that are like a half an hour. Some of those are really good and I like.
You did really well on that whenever
The
you
first
did it
time I did it, I lost a bunch of weight and I felt great. And so
you were
there's
running with Montoni and
it was with Max. Montoni
Max,
didn't run with me.
okay,
Max
okay.
ran with me, and yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun, and I felt great. But when I've tried to do it since then, my knees they don't hold up. So I either got to cut out those exercises where it's hard on my knees, or I need to go buy a couple of braces and try to fight through it. But
you could always try and instead of running, you could simply walk.
well, yeah, well, it's not even that. It's not running so much as it is like the jump training that they do. So like plyometrics is like the number one thing in the original P90X, and it's a lot of. And it's just jumping. It's like jumping from here to there, right? So just
In my world, parkour. Right. Yeah.
So, but it's hard. I mean, it's hard on your knees, and like if your body's not used to it, it's really hard to even get adapted to it. So they tell you like, well, ease into it, adapt the exercise and all that. So anyway, we're gonna see how it goes. And then, but I gotta do something, man, because I, quit chewing and then I gained. I'm at like 262 right now. I was down to like 237. Not that long ago, and it was like quick. I gained weight quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but on the upside, you quit chewing.
Yeah, it's true, but I'm fucking fat. My pants don't fit. I got heartburn all the time. I lose my breath. I'm sitting down. You hear me like fucking breathing like a fat man. Well, because I am a fat fuck.
Not really, but I mean, whatever.
It's bad.
I decided last night, and I started today, and then I ruined it with beer, but to not do keto exactly, but just cut out as much carbs as I could. Yep. So, if I'm eating a burger, I'm not going to eat the bun. If I'm going to try to eat more, steak and brats and bacon and things. Not more, but just avoid the bread and the potatoes and the fried part of everything if I can. And it's going to be really hard to do because everybody at work eats out all the time. Sure. And everywhere you go, it's hard to do that. But I'm going to try at least. Now, I've said up front, I'm going to keep drinking beer, but I'm going to try to drink, Busch Light because it's the lowest carb, least calorie.
I thought Mick Ultra was.
Yeah, it's a little bit lower, but it's a little more expensive. So I'm going to just stick with Busch because it's already low enough.
Mick Ultra's garbage.
Yeah, we're not huge fans of Mick Ultra here.
I don't like it either. It's watery.
Yeah, it's pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
Plus Zoe Kravitz is just.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. That's something we can talk about.
Zoe Kravitz and your.
Yeah, I almost lost my shit whenever you said that. I'm like, okay, first of all, she's not a singer.
She sings. She's known as she's an actress and singer.
And she's the gift of a god and goddess.
I like her parents more than her.
You haven't even seen her.
I saw her the
other
night.
Have you seen Big Little Lies? Have you ever seen an episode of it?
Yeah. I feel like, was she not in the first season?
No, she was. She just
saw
wasn't.
The first season. And
she was
I don't
like from probably like halfway to the end. Yeah. Although if you would have seen the whole thing, you would know she's very.
When I say I saw it, my wife watched it, and it was on when I was in the room.
Are we recording?
We are.
Wow. Not audio.
We have not started.
Don't talk shit about Zoe Kravitz.
The episode.
I got
so
you.
to speak.
Okay.
Don't talk shit about Zoe Kravitz.
I'm sorry.
I don't
have a
again.
problem necessarily
I like Lenny,
with her.
And I like Lisa Bonet.
Yes. So how can you not like Zoe Kravitz?
They're not married and haven't been for a long time.
No,
right?
she's married to Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
another
Aquaman.
god.
But I think like they're good people, I mean, just
no,
because
they have the
married,
greatest relationship. Like they are all actually friends.
Lenny Kravitz
legitimate friends.
is kind of, I would say, underrated musician.
And he's incredibly eccentric. Zoe just got married.
Lenny Kravitz, I think, and how talented he is.
I feel like it's been 15 years since he's done anything, but yeah.
It probably doesn't need to.
It's been like the Hunger Games.
He just needs to look how he looks.
Right. I love Lenny Kravitz. He's a cool motherfucker, but
yeah.
You know whose child he is. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I do. It's a chick from Jefferson.
Roxy Roker.
Yeah. And a white guy.
Yeah, but I don't know his name.
Something Kravitz.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with like Ishmael.
No, probably like Ted. Yeah. I feel like something.
But Roxy Roker's character was married to the white man. No, was married to the white guy in the Jefferson.
Sorry. Yeah.
In real life, also married to a white guy. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. How life imitates art, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. What was I going to say? I was going to say something.
I don't know.
You hate that. You hate when I do that shit.
I kind of really do. Because that's all shit I got to go.
You don't have to, though.
Mute.
See, I don't think you do.
People, when they're sitting in their car or they got their headphones on, they don't want to hear...
Well, I mean, it depends on how much it comes across. But
so how about we do this stuff? Why don't we do this stuff?
We need to start so we can drink.
All right, well then go.
All right.
Say it the right way this time.
I will. Let's see.
Here we go.
No.
Motherfucker.